Alright, so I don't know if you guys could tell earlier that I cleaned some stuff up in here. I'm actually getting rid of that probably in a couple days. And actually one of my neighbors is going to come get it. He's got a forklift and he's going to come get it. This thing, I love it, but it become a junk table and it's so big. They're putting stainless steel cabinets in at the fire station. They're going to throw the old ones away. They're like 1950s metal cabinets like those, but they obviously don't have the advertisement on them. But anyway, the sink and everything will fit perfectly in here. Like it even goes in an L shape. So I'm thinking about making the sink into something like that. Actually running a little pump up to the sink maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. But regardless, I'll have tons of storage to put all my cans and stuff like that in, and it'll free me up some space because this thing's, like I said, it's just huge. So got this almost done. You guys saw me doing some of this. I've had questions in the past on how to get this trim out of here. And the easiest way I found to do it is the way you guys saw me do it. Now I'll run my fingers under here and I'll try to feel for a divot. And wherever there's a divot, you could come in and mark it with a Sharpie or whatever, and then come back in and just grind that till it breaks loose, or till you're through the metal. To the spot weld anyway. And then I just take what I did is I took this screwdriver, sharpened it, and then used it to chisel underneath all of it. You guys saw probably a lot of that. Got this one off pretty cleanly. All this will get blasted. I mentioned that before. The only side I didn't get off was this side here. I just hadn't had time after I went and ate lunch and did all the other stuff I had to do. But what I'll do is I'll take that wheel and I'll cut the rest of this right on that line right there. I'll cut that down that line. So all it leaves me is this little U shape. Actually, it's not a U, it's an L. A little L shaped deal that comes in right there. And then I'll grind those like I said before. And you can mark where you feel your spot welds. That's not what these are, but you could do that. And then, of course, you guys saw me take the lead out of this earlier. And I'll show you where that kind of cuts loose there. It looked like here they had welded it, if that'll show. I don't know what it focuses on half the time, but this right here was weld, where they welded the top down. This was all lead, all up through here. So yeah, I'm hopeful that there's not a bunch of rust inside here, because this right here is pretty well smooth. And it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of areas for water to get in from up here. I cut this with a wheel. I'll weld that back shut, but when I was cutting through that weld here, it just got a little too deep. So, and yeah, so right through there is how that kind of works. And then your cap will come over top of that, and then you'll weld it down and then lead the seam over top of it. I've got videos on how I leaded Daryl's car. I'll do the same thing to this one. I will lead my cell panels as well. That's something that I wanted to learn. I don't like to pass up a challenge to learn something new like that. I've seen a lot of people were scared of leading, and and I had gone that route too. I was going to use fiberglass filler, or I thought about the all metal, which I heard, different reviews on it. And then ultimately, I thought, this car's 50 years old, and that lead's lasted 50 years, and it still didn't crack out. So I literally went back with the real lead in Daryl's car, not the synthetic stuff or whatever Eastwood carries, which I actually think I got the stuff from Eastwood. I think they sell actual lead sticks. Just mask up, make sure you're protecting your lungs with the right protection, and you should be good to go. That's been years ago, and I haven't saw any ill effects from it, so I think I'll be all right. What else? That's pretty much it for now on this one. Haven't played with this anymore as far as the fitment in the wheel well. I've got to go ahead and start moving for final fitment of the inner quarters, the inner wheel wells, outer wheel wells, and all that stuff needs to be moved in, set where it's going to stay, pinned together where it's going to live, and then we're going to work our way from the inside of the car out. Everything on the outside of the car is right. Everything's where I want it. Now I have to make the inside wheel tubs fit. Snug against the frame, then the outer tub against that tub, and then work this outside here however I need to do it, if I need to split it and widen it or whatever I have to do there. So that's it for now, guys. Not a whole lot of progress, I know, but that's a lot. This here wasn't so bad. This right here, that's a booger. I mean, just sitting there grinding that stuff out, and like I say, you can feel those. It just feels like a little roller coaster in there. About every, I'd say every inch or so, about every inch they put one, so you've got a lot of them coming out. And then you can see how this channel works. It actually welded right here. So if I wanted to change that, I could just pop these welds and put a whole new rain gutter channel or whatever you want to call it there in. But these are in pretty good shape, so I don't see that's necessary. Once I blast all this, we'll see what they look like. But all right, see you guys.